Miss Barbary's class. I'm Mrs. Marshall, and I'm a friend of Miss Barbary's. We're both librarians, except I am a librarian at Wilson Elementary School in Coppell, Texas. If you want to know where Coppell is, you need to get a map of the United States, locate Texas, then find Dallas, the city of Dallas, and Coppell sits right on the north side of Dallas, Texas. We're a small community, and Wilson is one of 8 elementary schools that we have in Coppell. We have 540 students that go to Wilson. They are pre-kindergarten, age 4, all the way up to 5th grade. I am serving on this year's 2010 Theodore Seuss Geisel Committee. I know Miss Barbary has been talking to you about serving on a mock committee. That is a committee that works just like my real committee to choose the book that we think might win the Geisel Award for this year. I'm going to talk to you about our mock Geisel committee at Wilson Elementary in just a moment. But I wanted you to see a little bit. This is in my house, and this is where I receive all of the books that come for me to read and study for the Geisel Award that we're going to choose, the winner and the honor books, in January. That's in about 3 or 4 weeks. You can see behind me there's quite a few books. The way I get the books, the publishers send me boxes of books almost every day for books that they want us to look at and read and maybe consider for the Geisel Award. I counted the books before I started this video, and I think I've received about 400 books since last August. We've been reading, oh boy, I've been reading a lot since I've started reading the books. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the criteria for the Geisel Award, and you're going to use the same criteria, or you have to, all these books that you're thinking about have to fit within these parameters for them to be the Geisel Award. What is the Geisel Award? The Geisel Award is presented annually, every year, by the American Library Service to Children. It honors a person you probably know very well through the books you've read, Dr. Seuss. His name was Theodore Seuss Geisel, and the award, started in 2006, was intended to honor the most distinguished contribution to beginning readers that had been published in the United States in the preceding year. Dr. Seuss was fond of saying that children were just like everybody else. They wanted to laugh, they wanted to be delighted, and they wanted to be entertained. And that's what he hoped to do with his books. The year that Cat in the Hat was published, I was 7 years old, and I remember getting that book for Christmas one year. So I know you've read his books, and you love his books like I do. So let's talk more about the Geisel Award. Let's talk about criteria. That means what the books have to have or can't have to be eligible to win the Geisel Award. Now, when I first started on the committee, we were given lots of things to read. This is my Geisel notebook. You can tell there's a lot of pages in here, and it's all written in where I've taken my notes, and I've studied this and I've read a lot about what makes a great beginning chapter book, because that, after all, is the kind of book that we're looking for. A wonderful, distinguished, engaging, creative, shows imagination book that you, people who are beginning to be really good readers, would want to read, and what would encourage you to want to read. So those are the kind of books we're looking for. I want to talk again about that criteria a little bit. I'm going to have to put on my glasses to read my little print here in my notebook, but I wanted to talk to you about the list that we're looking for. A Geisel book has to be printed and written in the United States of America. The author and the illustrator also have to be either American or living in the United States. A Geisel Award book is distinguished. What do we mean by distinguished? Well, it means something about that book makes it special. It means that it's high quality. It means it has excellence or eminence. It provides a stimulating and successful reading experience. Have you ever read a book that when you finished it, you just thought, wow, that was a great book. That might have been the best book I ever read. Maybe you want to read it again. Well, that's what we're talking about when we say distinguished, that it means you had a successful reading experience. Have you ever read a book that you just thought, I'll never finish that book? That's probably not a great Geisel contender if that's the way you felt about it. What do we mean by creativity? Well, that means originality. It means the author and the illustrator used a lot of great imagination and were inventive in the way they made the book. One of the authors who has won a couple of times is Mo Willems. Do you know Mo Willems' work? Oh, I do. I love that Elephant and Piggy. And he certainly shows imagination and creativity in the way that Elephant and Piggy use those speech bubbles to talk to one another with, and the things that they come up with, the elephant throwing the ball and the piggy wanting to teach the elephant to dance. Those show great imagination.